Hi, good morning, everybody. David Marshall from Seth Network England and the Conscious Creation Academy, and welcome to the podcast. Today, I want to talk about the actual process of creation from my own perspective, based on experiences that I've had, processes, and the ways I approach this. I'm not saying this is the absolutely perfect way, but it works for me, and it's something that I also find enjoyable as well. So I want to go through the process I use and talk about the barriers and that type of thing that I found come up, and that based on the fact that we create our own experience, we create our own reality in total, and we only view our own reality, then I wanted to talk about that from that perspective. So a few things come to mind, a few things that may help you. The first thing is you only view your own reality. It is part of a bigger reality, but you've only got to deal with essentially one reality. And I always found that really comforting, if you like, because it meant I didn't have to think about other people. I could really focus my attention on myself and my creativity. Also, you only have to deal with one belief system because, of course, you can only deal with your own. And in physical reality, you experience your reality only, and you only really have to think about your reality, okay, your belief system. So it's all about you. And as much as that might think it's a bit imposing, or it's all about, I'm causing my own problems and all that kind of stuff, which is true, then I would say that actually if you can come back to yourself more and more and realize that as you change your belief system, your approach to life, energetically, psychically, emotionally, then your reality will change. And that's absolutely proven time and time again. So it's all about you. And there's a song by that name, is it? I won't sing it for you, but it's all about you. So now let's have a look here. So what do I do when I want to approach something and change or create something? Well, the first thing is I accept that I create my own reality and that I view my version of reality, my personal reality, just as you do. I then decide and consciously choose on what I want. Now, what happens then is the unconscious and the inner self, we're not going to get into what that is today, but the inner self and your unconscious mind begin to focus attention and on creating what you consciously choose. Remember that physical reality is meant as a feedback system to you. It's not meant as anything to be separate. It's meant as a feedback system to show you what you believe. And that's really, really important. Okay, so you only see your version of reality, and it's a feedback system for you personally. It's very personal, very, very unique. So the first thing is deciding to consciously choose, and that allows the psychic, emotional juices to get going and begin to focus attention energetically on what you want. Then what I do is I sit with the idea. I don't try to meditate or anything. I kind of contemplate, I suppose. I relax, and over a period of a few days, I will begin to notice what comes into my mind about what I want to create. The important thing for me in that is it shows me where my barriers are. It shows me how I really feel about it. So if I wanted to create, say, a new job or money or improve a relationship or whatever it is, I choose that, and then I don't rush it. I allow myself and my inner self and my subconscious to come up with information that would be helpful for me. A lot of it is in a feeling. So I'll have a feeling or in a dream or that type of thing. But essentially what it allows me to do is notice that things are happening, and also shows me the barriers that may get in the way of this actually coming into physical reality. Now, at this point, let's introduce the idea of Framework 1 and Framework 2. So Framework 2 is outside of physical reality, and Framework 1 is physical reality. And everything that happens, except what you perceive here, right in front of you, is essentially coming from Framework 2. It's where the psychic awareness is, your broader self is. And when you begin to create something, actually what you're doing is you're engaging with and beginning to focus into Framework 2. So you begin to notice what's happening internally, Framework 2. What I then do is choose to feel good. I've got certain feelings and experiences, one of which is where I scored a goal in football when I was younger. It was an incredible goal, and I remember jumping up and down. I remember everyone kind of in the team couldn't believe it. I think I was about 14 or 15 at the time. And that always brings back a really positive feeling for me. I remember going for a walk with my partner, Claire, and she's quite playful, which is lovely. And we were in the woods, fairly close around, and actually began to just kind of muck about in the woods, really, and have some fun. And that always, something really triggered just a kind of pleasurable note to me with that actual event. And so I bring that to mind also. What I also do is bring to mind, again, an event where I actually created what I wanted. I was in my business, which is actually a spiritual center that I ran at the time, and outside was a balloon. It was a red balloon actually in a tree, a great big oak tree, about 50 yards out the back window where the toilets were. And I looked on the way out, and there was a red balloon. And I said to myself, if I create my own reality, then I want that balloon in my car parking space, which was literally just, as I looked out of the window below my car, I didn't have the car that day. I walked into work, and there was a space there that was mine. I said, if I create my own reality, then that balloon can be in there by the end of the day. And I was actually teaching a course on healing and conscious creation and that type of thing. And I went back in the break, and nothing happened. And then I came back at lunchtime, and bobbing up and down right in the middle of that car parking space was that red balloon. And it absolutely hit a note of pleasure, excitement, and awareness with me. It was just absolutely amazing. One of the real things, so I bring that to mind. So what I'm doing is I'm gathering together feelings of positivity, feelings of when I created what I wanted, and feelings of amazing, feelings of the magical nature of myself and reality. And I bring them together. And what I then do is I then choose to focus them into what I want to create, which may be an image, it may be a feeling, whatever it is. And I keep doing that. I don't hammer at it. I might do it once a day, or if it comes to mind as I'm going about my day, I may kind of in my mind throw energy into what I want to create, throw that feeling into there, because what I'm doing is I'm building up energy in framework 2. Okay, that's what I'm doing. So what's the next thing I do? Well, I relax, okay? And I build in myself gentle expectation, and I allow that to grow within me also. So that's what I'm doing internally as we go along. And what I then do is I then look out for feedback in physical reality to the work I'm doing within framework 2. So for instance, if I was looking for more income, so I run a business, so I teach and I coach people in these areas, but I also do marketing that I learnt and enjoy to some other degree, and these are my businesses. So what I do is I then begin to notice the feedback in whatever I want to create. So say I'm putting on an event talking about conscious creation, Seth material, and this type of thing. What I'll do is I'll put an email out. I love technology, it's great to use. I'll put an email out, and as soon as I get some kind of positive feedback, I'll celebrate that. As soon as somebody says, yeah, I want to come along and spend a day with you and talk about this stuff, or I want to take an online course with you, or whatever it is, then I celebrate it. If, say, I want something to happen for my children, and they come back and they give me feedback, remember that's what this is, a feedback system, saying, yes, this happened for them, I will celebrate that, because it's showing that the work I'm doing in Framework 2 is having an effect. I also then, in doing that, take steps to kind of affirm it here. So if I was booking a course, I'd book a room. If I was with my children and we were doing something, I would talk to them about it. So I'm, again, affirming it within physical reality, and I keep doing that gently every day. And what happens over time is the feedback gets stronger, which means I know I'm in the right direction, and then I expect, and it does happen, that reality to happen. So that's my process. I decide what I want to consciously choose. I sit with the idea and I relax to kind of go with the barriers, or over a couple of days I try and bring up feelings of any barriers to that happening. I choose to feel good, and I create good feelings, and then I focus them into what I want to create. I relax and build gentle expectation. I then look out for feedback, however small. Now, the feedback might be a feeling, or it might be something I'm seeing in feedback. It's all feedback, okay? But I look out for feedback, any small, however small, and I celebrate it. Okay, I build it up big within me energetically, and then I throw that energy back into Framework 2. I then take steps in physical reality, talk about it, take action, book a room, go to the cinema, spend a bit more money, whatever it is. And if you're trying to create money, let me just say, don't spend a lot of money. It can be a penny or an extra dollar or whatever it is in your currency. Don't go. I have been on courses where they said, go and stick a load of money on your credit card and expect it to come back. And, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because you haven't built up the energy and framework to yet. Okay, so don't do that. Don't do that. You're doomed to fail. And then finally, reaffirm it every day gently with expectation. So that is the process of exactly how I create. Now, what happens if there's a barrier? What happens if nothing happens? I don't get any feedback. I go back to number 2, okay? I sit with the idea, I relax, I see what comes up into my mind, and I encourage myself to explore the barriers, of why it's not happening. I might write things down. I might go through my emotions. So I work intellectually and emotionally, but essentially, that's what I do. I go back to number 2, I refocus, and then I look at it again. And that process is the process of creativity. It's how we create everything within this reality. So that's it. I hope that's useful for you. That's quite a long audio there, about 10, 15 minutes, something like that. I hope that's useful for you. If you've got any comments, if you see this on the website or iTunes, whatever it is, then let me know if you've got any questions or on Facebook, on Seth Network England on Facebook. And I look forward to hearing how you put it in place and your success stories as well. Have a great day. Speak to you soon. Lots of love.